Grow Every Morning. Written and published by Mindset Academy. The power of beginning again each day. Every morning is a fresh start. It is a new opportunity to grow, improve, and move closer to the life you want. No matter what happened yesterday, whether you succeeded, struggled, or made mistakes, the morning gives you a clean slate. It gives you another chance to act with purpose. Growth does not happen once in a while. Growth happens daily. The people who make the greatest progress in life are not necessarily the most talented or the most fortunate. They're the ones who commit to growing every single day. They understand that small improvements, repeated consistently, create powerful results over time. Morning is the best time to begin that growth. Your mind is fresh. Your energy is renewed. Your focus is stronger. This is why the first hours of the day matter so much. They set the tone for everything that follows. Why morning growth changes your life. Many people wait for the perfect moment to change. They wait for motivation, inspiration, or a major life event. But real change does not come from waiting. It comes from daily action. When you grow every morning, you build momentum. You create progress before distractions appear. You move forward while others are still deciding what to do. Morning growth creates confidence. You feel proud of yourself for taking action. You feel stronger because you kept your promise. You feel motivated because you see progress. These feelings build discipline. They make it easier to continue the next day. Over time, this routine becomes part of who you are. You stop hoping for change. You start creating it. The habit of showing up for yourself. One of the most important habits you can develop is the habit of showing up for yourself. This means keeping your commitments, even when you do not feel motivated. It means doing what you said you would do, even when it feels difficult. Showing up is a form of self-respect. Every time you wake up and begin your routine, you send a message to your mind. I matter. My goals matter. My future matters. This message builds confidence. It strengthens your belief in your ability to succeed. It also creates a sense of control over your life. You may not control every situation, but you can control your actions, and your actions determine your results. Small steps create big results. Many people believe success requires big, dramatic changes. They think they need to work harder, move faster, or take huge risks. But in reality, success often comes from small steps taken consistently. Read a few pages each morning. Write down your goals. Spend a few minutes planning your day. These actions may seem simple, but they build powerful habits. They improve your focus. They increase your productivity. They strengthen your discipline. Small steps are easier to maintain. Small steps reduce stress. Small steps create momentum. Over time, these steps add up to major achievements. Building a routine that supports growth. A routine is a system that guides your behavior. It removes uncertainty and makes success easier to achieve. When you follow a routine, you do not waste time deciding what to do. You simply follow your plan. A strong morning routine includes activities that support your goals. You might spend time learning something new. You might exercise to strengthen your body. You might reflect on your priorities for the day. The specific activities are less important than the consistency. What matters is that you commit to growing every morning. Consistency turns effort into habit. Habit turns action into success. Overcoming resistance and staying committed. There will be mornings when you feel tired. There will be days when you want to skip your routine. This resistance is normal. It is part of the growth process. The key is not to avoid resistance. The key is to move forward despite it. When you feel unmotivated, start with a small action. Take one step. Begin the routine. Once you start, momentum often follows. Action creates energy. Energy creates progress. Progress creates motivation. Each time you overcome resistance, you become stronger. You prove to yourself that you are capable of discipline. And discipline is a foundation of success. Creating momentum that lasts all day. Morning growth does more than improve your routine. It creates momentum that carries into the rest of your day. When you begin the day with purpose, you feel prepared to handle challenges. You make better decisions. You stay focused on your priorities. Momentum builds confidence. You feel capable of solving problems. You feel ready to take action. You feel motivated to continue working toward your goals. This positive energy spreads into every area of your life. It improves your performance at work or school. It strengthens your relationships. It increases your sense of satisfaction. A strong morning creates a strong day, the discipline that shapes your future. Your future is not determined by luck. It is determined by your habits. The actions you repeat every day shape the direction of your life. If you grow every morning, your future becomes stronger. If you stay consistent, your results become predictable. If you remain disciplined, your goals become achievable. Discipline may feel difficult at first, but it becomes easier with practice. Eventually, your routine feels natural. You no longer struggle to begin. You simply act. This is the power of daily growth. Becoming the person you want to be. Growth is not just about achieving goals. It is about becoming the person capable of achieving them. It is about developing the mindset, habit, and character that support success. Each morning gives you a chance to practice these qualities. You practice discipline by following your routine. You practice focus by completing important tasks. You practice responsibility by keeping your promises. These qualities shape your identity. They define who you are. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by your daily actions. And when those actions support growth, your future becomes brighter. Starting the journey today. The best time to begin growing is now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need unlimited time. You only need a willingness to take the first step. Wake up with purpose. Take one meaningful action. Commit to improving each day. Growth begins with a single decision. The decision to show up for yourself. And when you make that decision every morning, you create a life built on discipline, progress, and success, turning mornings into a daily advantage. Most people wake up and immediately react to the day. They check messages, rush through routines, and start working without direction. The day begins in a hurry, and before they realize it, they are already behind. But growth requires intention. When you learn to grow every morning, you stop reacting and start leading. You take control of your time before the world demands your attention. You create space to think, plan, and act with purpose. Morning is not just the beginning of the day. Morning is your competitive advantage. While others delay, you prepare. While others hesitate, you move. While others complain, you improve. This mindset separates those who make progress from those who stay stuck. The first hour shapes the next 10. The way you spend your first hour has a powerful influence on the rest of your day. If you begin with confusion, stress, or distraction, that energy follows you. But if you begin with clarity and focus, your entire schedule becomes more productive. Think of the first hour as the foundation of a building. A weak foundation creates instability. A strong foundation creates strength. When you invest time in growth early in the morning, you build a stable base for everything that follows. Your decisions become clearer. Your actions become more intentional. Your confidence becomes stronger. This is why successful people protect their mornings carefully. They understand that a strong start creates lasting momentum, replacing old habits with better ones. Growth often requires change. You cannot keep the same habits and expect different results. If your current routine is not helping you move forward, it is time to replace it with something better. Start by identifying one habit that slows you down. Maybe you stay up too late. Maybe you waste time scrolling through your phone. Maybe you delay important tasks. Once you recognize a habit, replace it with a positive action. Go to bed earlier. Read something valuable. Plan your priorities. Change does not have to be dramatic. It only needs to be consistent. Every improved habit moves you closer to success. The role of self-discipline in daily growth. Self-discipline is the ability to act even when you do not feel like it. It is the strength to stay committed when motivation disappears. Without discipline, growth becomes unpredictable. With discipline, growth becomes reliable. Discipline turns intention into action. You wake up when the alarm rings. You follow your routine without excuses. You complete tasks even when they feel difficult. Each disciplined action builds confidence. It proves that you can trust yourself. It shows that you are capable of progress. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from procrastination. It frees you from regret. It frees you from wasted time. creating a morning that builds confidence. Confidence does not come from words. It comes from action. Every time you complete a meaningful task, your belief in yourself grows stronger. Morning is the best time to build that confidence. Finish a small task. Solve a simple problem. Make progress toward a goal. These victories may seem small, but they create powerful momentum. They remind you that you are capable of success. They prepare your mind to handle bigger challenges. Confidence is built step by step, and morning is where those steps begin. Protecting your time from distractions. Time is one of your most valuable resources. Once it is gone, you cannot recover it. This is why protecting your time is essential for growth. Distractions are everywhere. They appear in the form of notifications, conversations, and unnecessary activities. If you allow them to control your schedule, your progress slows down. The solution is simple. Create boundaries. Decide when you will focus. Decide when you will rest. Decide what deserves your attention. These decisions protect your time and strengthen your discipline. When your time is protected, your growth becomes consistent. The importance of mental clarity. Mental clarity allows you to think clearly and make better decisions. Without clarity, your mind becomes overwhelmed. You feel confused, distracted, and unproductive. Morning is the best time to create clarity. Spend a few minutes reflecting on your goals. Write down your priorities. Visualize the results you want to achieve. These actions organize your thoughts and reduce stress. They give your day direction and purpose. A clear mind works faster and more effectively, building strength through consistency. Consistency is the secret behind every success story. It is not talent, luck, or intelligence alone that creates achievement. It is the willingness to repeat positive actions every day. Consistency builds strength. You wake up early again and again. You follow your routine again and again. You take action again and again. Over time, these repeated actions create powerful habits. They make discipline feel natural. They make progress feel inevitable. Consistency transforms effort into results. Learning to trust the process. Growth takes time. Results do not appear immediately. There will be days when progress feels slow. There will be moments when you doubt yourself. This is when trust becomes important. Trust the process. Trust your effort. Trust your discipline. Every step forward matters, even if the results are not visible yet. Every morning you commit to growth. You move closer to your goals. Patience turns effort into achievement. Choosing progress over comfort. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it rarely creates growth. Progress often requires effort, discipline, and persistence. It requires you to step outside your comfort zone. This choice appears every morning. You can stay in bed, or you can get up. You can delay your routine, or you can begin. You can choose comfort, or you can choose progress. The people who succeed make the same decision again and again. They choose progress. And each time you make that choice, you strengthen your future. Building a life of continuous improvement. Growth is not a destination. It is a journey that continues every day. There is always something new to learn, something new to improve, and something new to achieve. When you commit to growing every morning, you create a life of continuous improvement. You become more disciplined. You become more focused. You become more confident. These improvements shape your future. They open doors to new opportunities. They create a life filled with purpose and achievement. And it all begins with one simple decision: to grow every morning. Strengthening your mind before the world wakes up. The early morning hours offer something rare: silence. No noise, no pressure, no interruptions. It is a quiet space where your mind can think clearly and your focus can grow stronger. This is why morning is the perfect time to strengthen your mindset. Your mindset determines how you respond to challenges. It shapes your decisions. It influences your actions. When your mindset is strong, obstacles become manageable. When your mindset is weak, even small problems feel overwhelming. Growing every morning begins with strengthening your mind. You prepare your thoughts before the day begins. You organize your priorities before distractions appear. You build confidence before challenges arrive. This preparation gives you an advantage that lasts all day. Feeding your mind with the right information. Your mind is like soil. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you fill your mind with negative thoughts, doubt and fear will increase. If you fill your mind with positive ideas, confidence and determination will expand. Morning is the best time to choose what enters your mind. Read something that teaches you discipline. Listen to content that encourages growth. Reflect on ideas that inspire action. These habits shape your thinking. They help you focus on solutions instead of problems. They also strengthen your belief in your ability to succeed. Successful people protect their minds carefully. They understand that information influences behavior. What you consume each morning becomes a foundation of your mindset. The discipline of thinking ahead. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is the habit of thinking ahead. Instead of reacting to situations, you prepare for them. Instead of rushing into the day, you plan your actions. Planning creates confidence. When you know what needs to be done, your mind becomes calm. You stop worrying about uncertainty. You begin acting with clarity and purpose. Spend a few minutes each morning asking yourself simple questions. What are my priorities today? What challenges might appear? What actions will move me forward? These questions prepare your mind for success. They turn confusion into direction. Direction creates progress. Building mental toughness through routine. Mental toughness is the ability to stay focused and determined, even when things become difficult. It is not something you are born with. It is something you develop through practice. Routine builds mental toughness. Every time you wake up early, you prove that you can overcome comfort. Every time you complete your morning routine, you strengthen your discipline. Every time you keep going despite resistance, you build resilience. These repeated actions train your mind to stay strong. You learn to handle stress calmly. You learn to solve problems confidently. You learn to continue working even when motivation fades. Mental toughness is not about being perfect. It is about being persistent, turning negative thoughts into positive action. Everyone experiences negative thoughts. Doubt, fear, and frustration are natural parts of life. The difference between successful people and others is how they respond to those thoughts. Instead of focusing on problems, they take action. When you feel doubt, remind yourself of your progress. When you feel fear, take one small step forward. When you feel frustration, focus on solutions. Action changes your mindset. It replaces worry with confidence. It turns uncertainty into movement. The more you act, the stronger your mindset becomes. The role of gratitude in personal growth. Gratitude is a powerful tool for building a positive mindset. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already present. It reminds you of your progress and strengthens your motivation. Starting your morning with gratitude creates emotional stability. Think about what you appreciate. Recognize the opportunities in front of you. Acknowledge the effort you have already made. These simple reflections create a sense of calm and confidence. They prepare your mind for productive work. Gratitude does not remove challenges. It gives you the strength to face them. Learning from yesterday without carrying it forward. Yesterday contains valuable lessons, but it should not control your present. Holding on to past mistakes or disappointments creates stress and distraction. Growth requires learning from the past and moving forward. Morning is the perfect time to reset your mindset. Review what went well. Identify what can be improved. Let go of what cannot be changed. This process creates clarity. It frees your mind from unnecessary pressure. It allows you to focus on new opportunities. Every morning is a chance to start again. Training your focus like a skill. Focus is not something you either have or do not have. It is a skill that improves with practice. The more you train your focus, the stronger it becomes. Morning is the ideal time to develop this skill. Work on one task at a time. Avoid unnecessary distractions. Commit to completing what you start. These habits strengthen your concentration. They increase your productivity. They make it easier to achieve your goals. Focused effort produces better results than scattered energy. Creating a vision that guides your actions. A clear vision gives your life direction. It shows you where you're going and why your effort matters. Without a vision, it is easy to lose motivation. With a vision, your actions become meaningful. Spend time each morning thinking about your future. What kind of life do you want? What goals do you want to achieve? What person do you want to become? These questions create purpose. They remind you of the reason behind your discipline. They inspire you to keep moving forward. Vision turns routine into progress. Building confidence through daily wins. Confidence grows when you experience success. These successes do not have to be large. Small wins are enough to strengthen your belief in yourself. Complete one task. Solve one problem. Make one improvement. Each win builds momentum. It creates a sense of achievement. It motivates you to continue working toward your goals. Confidence is not built in a single moment. It is built through repeated victories, becoming mentally prepared for any challenge. Life is unpredictable. Challenges appear without warning. Problems require quick decisions. When your mind is prepared, you handle these situations calmly. Morning preparation creates mental readiness. You begin the day with clarity. You understand your priorities. You trust your ability to respond. This readiness reduces stress. It improves performance. It increases resilience. And as you continue growing every morning, your mindset becomes stronger, your confidence becomes deeper, and your ability to succeed becomes greater. Managing your time like a professional. Growth requires time, but more importantly, it requires control over how that time is used. Many people feel busy every day, yet they struggle to make real progress. They move from one task to another without clear direction. They work hard, but their results remain small. The problem is not effort. The problem is time management. When you grow every morning, you learn to manage your time with intention. You decide what deserves your attention. You choose activities that move you forward. You stop wasting energy on tasks that do not matter. Time is the one resource everyone shares equally. How you use it determines your future. Understanding the value of every hour has potential. It can be invested or wasted. It can create progress or create regret. The difference depends on your choices. Successful people treat time like money. They spend it carefully. They invest it wisely. They protect it from unnecessary loss. Think about how you use your morning hours. Do you begin the day with purpose? Do you focus on meaningful tasks? Do you avoid distractions? These questions help you evaluate your habits. They reveal where your time is being used effectively and where it is being lost. Awareness is a first step toward improvement. Planning your day before it begins. Planning is one of the simplest ways to improve productivity. When you plan your day in advance, you remove confusion. You reduce stress. You increase efficiency. Morning planning creates clarity. Write down your priorities. Decide what tasks must be completed. Set realistic expectations. This process turns a busy day into a focused day. It helps you avoid last-minute decisions. It also ensures that your most important work receives your best energy. A clear plan is a powerful tool, focusing on what matters most. Not all tasks are equal. Some activities create significant progress, while others provide little value. Learning to identify high-impact tasks is essential for growth. High-impact tasks move you closer to your goals. They require concentration. They produce meaningful results. They create long-term benefits. Low-impact tasks may feel productive, but they often consume time without creating real progress. Checking messages repeatedly, organizing minor details, or delaying important work can reduce efficiency. The key is to prioritize wisely. Do the most important task first. Complete it with full attention. Then move to the next priority. This approach ensures steady progress. Eliminating time wasters. Time wasters are activities that consume energy without producing results. They often appear harmless, but their impact can be significant. Common time wasters include unnecessary scrolling on digital devices, procrastination on important tasks, disorganized schedules, frequent interruptions. Identifying these habits allows you to replace them with productive actions. Instead of scrolling, read something valuable. Instead of delaying, begin immediately. Instead of multitasking, focus on one task. These changes protect your time and increase your productivity. Creating a system that supports efficiency. A system is a set of steps that guide your actions. It removes uncertainty and improves consistency. When you follow a system, you reduce mistakes and increase speed. Morning is the perfect time to establish a system. Wake up at the same time. Follow a structured routine. Begin work with clear priorities. These steps create stability. They make your day predictable and manageable. They also reduce stress because you know exactly what to do. Efficiency comes from preparation, balancing work and rest. Growth requires effort, but it also requires recovery. Working continuously without rest leads to fatigue and mistakes. Balanced routines protect your energy and maintain performance. Rest is not laziness. Rest is maintenance. Short breaks refresh your mind. Relaxation reduces stress. Sleep restores your body. When you respect your need for rest, your productivity improves. You think more clearly. You make better decisions. You complete tasks faster. Balance creates sustainability. Developing the habit of finishing tasks. Starting tasks is easy. Finishing them requires discipline. Many people begin projects with enthusiasm, but they lose focus before completion. This pattern creates frustration and reduces confidence. Finishing tasks builds trust in yourself. When you complete what you start, you prove your reliability. You strengthen your discipline. You create a sense of accomplishment. To build this habit, focus on one task at a time. Avoid jumping between activities. Stay committed until the work is done. Completion creates momentum. Measuring progress with simple systems. Tracking progress helps you stay motivated. It shows you how far you have come and what still needs improvement. Without measurement, progress can feel invisible. Simple tracking systems are effective. Write down completed tasks. Review your daily achievements. Adjust your schedule when necessary. These actions provide clarity. They help you identify strengths and weaknesses. They also encourage continuous improvement. What gets measured gets improved. Turning discipline into daily results. Discipline is a bridge between intention and achievement. It transforms plans into action. It converts effort into results. When you manage your time wisely, discipline becomes visible. You complete tasks on schedule. You meet deadlines confidently. You maintain steady progress. These outcomes build confidence. They demonstrate reliability. They create success. Results are the reward of consistent discipline. Building a life organized around purpose. Purpose gives meaning to your actions. It turns routine tasks into meaningful steps. It provides motivation during difficult moments. When your time is organized around purpose, your life becomes more focused. You know what matters. You understand your priorities. You act with intention. This clarity reduces stress and increases satisfaction. It allows you to move forward with confidence. And as you continue growing every morning, your time becomes more valuable, your discipline becomes stronger, and your progress becomes unstoppable. Building habits that work even when you feel unmotivated. There will be days when you feel energized and ready to take action. On those days, progress feels easy. But there will also be days when motivation is low, energy is limited, and focus is difficult. Those are the days that truly test your commitment to growth. Motivation is temporary. Habits are reliable. When you grow every morning, your success cannot depend on how you feel. It must depend on what you consistently do. Habits create stability. They allow you to move forward even when emotions change. This is why habits are more powerful than motivation. Motivation starts the journey. Habits sustain the journey. Why repetition creates strength. Every action you repeat becomes easier. At first, waking up early may feel difficult. Your body resists change. Your mind searches for comfort. But as you repeat the behavior, resistance fades. Repetition builds familiarity. Familiarity builds confidence. Confidence builds discipline. Think about learning any skill. The first attempt feels uncomfortable. The second attempt feels slightly easier. After many repetitions, the skill becomes natural. The same principle applies to your morning routine. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. The more consistent you are, the more automatic it feels. Eventually, you wake up and begin your routine without hesitation. That is the power of repetition. Designing habits that fit your life. Not every habit works for every person. Growth requires habits that match your schedule, your goals, and your responsibilities. If a routine is too complicated, it becomes difficult to maintain. If it is simple and realistic, it becomes sustainable. Start with habits that are manageable. Wake up at a consistent time. Spend a few minutes planning your day. Complete one meaningful task. These actions may seem small, but they create structure. They establish discipline. They make growth possible. Simple habits are easier to repeat. Repeated habits create lasting change. Removing obstacles before they appear. Many habits fail because obstacles are not prepared for. When challenges appear unexpectedly, routines collapse. But when obstacles are anticipated, solutions become easier. Preparation prevents failure. If waking up early is difficult, go to bed earlier. If distractions are common, create a quiet workspace. If time feels limited, plan your schedule in advance. These adjustments remove barriers and increase consistency. Success is rarely about effort alone. It is about preparation. The role of environment in habit formation. Your environment influences your behavior more than you may realize. A messy or distracting environment encourages delay. A clean and organized environment encourages action. Think about the spaces where you spend your mornings. Do they support focus? Do they encourage productivity? Do they reduce distractions? Small changes can make a big difference. Prepare your workspace before sleeping. Place necessary tools within reach. Remove items that cause distraction. These changes create an environment that supports growth. When your environment supports your goals, discipline becomes easier, turning morning actions into automatic behavior. Automatic behavior is the result of consistent repetition. When you perform the same action at the same time each day, your brain begins to expect it. The behavior becomes routine. You no longer debate whether to act. You simply act. This is a goal of the Grow Every Morning system, to create routines that run automatically. Wake up, follow your routine, begin your work. These steps become natural through repetition. Automation reduces stress. Automation saves energy. Automation increases reliability. Staying consistent when life becomes busy. Busy schedules often disrupt routines. Unexpected responsibilities, deadlines, and challenges can make growth feel difficult. But consistency does not require perfection. It requires commitment. Even during busy periods, maintain small habits. Spend 5 minutes planning your day. Complete one essential task. Review your priorities. These small actions keep your routine alive. They maintain momentum. They prevent setbacks from turning into failure. Consistency during busy times builds resilience. Tracking habits to strengthen discipline. Tracking your habits helps you stay accountable. It provides clear evidence of progress. It also reveals patterns that need improvement. Simple tracking methods are effective. Mark each successful morning on a calendar. Write down completed habits. Review your progress weekly. These actions create motivation. They remind you of your commitment. They also help you identify areas for growth. Accountability strengthens discipline. Celebrating progress without losing focus. Recognizing progress is important. It builds confidence and encourages persistence. However, celebration should not lead to complacency. Success requires continued effort. Celebrate small wins, a completed routine, a productive morning, a consistent week. These achievements deserve recognition. They reflect discipline and commitment. But after celebrating, return to work. Continue improving. Continue growing. Progress is a journey, not a destination. Turning daily habits into lifelong discipline. Habits shape your identity. The actions you repeat become part of who you are. When you practice discipline every morning, discipline becomes your standard. You begin to expect more from yourself. You develop confidence in your abilities. You trust your routines. This transformation does not happen overnight. It happens gradually through repetition and persistence. Daily habits create lifelong discipline, preparing for the final stage of growth. By building strong habits, you have created a foundation for lasting success. You have learned how to manage your time, protect your focus, and stay consistent. These skills prepare you for the next level of growth. The final stage is about sustainability, maintaining your routines long-term, adapting to new challenges, continuing to improve every day. Growth never stops. It evolves with your goals. It strengthens with experience. And as you continue to grow every morning, your habits become your strength, your discipline becomes your advantage, and your progress becomes your legacy, turning growth into a permanent identity. At some point, growth stops feeling like something you're trying to do and starts becoming something you naturally are. This is the stage where discipline is no longer forced. You no longer negotiate with yourself. You no longer debate whether to act. You simply do what needs to be done. This is a final shift from effort to identity. Growing every morning is not about temporary change. It is about becoming a person who evolves continuously. Someone who does not rely on motivation, but on structure, habits, and self-respect. When growth becomes identity, consistency becomes effortless. Living without the need to restart. Most people live in cycles of restarting. They begin a routine, lose consistency, fall off track, and then restart again later. This cycle creates frustration because progress never stabilizes. But true growth breaks this pattern. Instead of restarting, you continue. You do not say, "I will start again Monday." You say, "I continue today." This shift is powerful because it removes the idea of failure as an ending point. A bad day is no longer a reset. It is just a temporary disruption. Continuity is stronger than restart culture. The discipline of staying consistent long-term. Short bursts of effort are easy. Long-term consistency is difficult. Anyone can be disciplined for a few days. Few people can remain disciplined for months and years. But long-term success is built only through long-term consistency. Consistency requires patience when progress feels slow, commitment when motivation disappears, focus when distractions appear. It is not about intensity. It is about persistence. The people who succeed are not always the most talented. They are the most consistent. Accepting that growth takes time. One of the biggest challenges in personal development is impatience. People want fast results. They want immediate transformation. But real change is gradual. You do not become disciplined in one day. You do not build success in 1 week. You do not change your life in one moment. You change through repetition. Each morning you show up, you are building something. Even when progress is not visible, it is still happening. Even when results are slow, the foundation is being formed. Trust the process of time. Detaching from instant results. Instant results can be misleading. They create unrealistic expectations. When progress is not immediate, people often give up too early. But meaningful growth does not follow instant patterns. Think of growth like planting a seed. You do not see results immediately, but beneath the surface, something important is happening. Roots are forming. Strength is building. Stability is developing. Your habits work the same way. What you do daily matters more than what you see today. Strengthening discipline through repetition. Discipline is not built through inspiration. It is built through repetition. Every time you repeat a positive action, you strengthen your ability to do it again. Wake up at the same time. Follow the same routine. Complete your key tasks. These repeated actions create structure. They reduce decision fatigue. They train your mind to act automatically. Repetition removes hesitation. Repetition builds reliability. Repetition creates mastery. Becoming comfortable with uncomfortable growth. Growth is not always comfortable. It requires effort, adjustment, and persistence. Many people avoid growth because it challenges their comfort zone. But comfort does not create progress. When you grow every morning, you learn to act despite discomfort. You wake up even when you feel tired. You work even when you feel distracted. You continue even when results are unclear. This ability to move through discomfort builds strength, and strength is what leads to success. Replacing old identity with a new one. Your identity is shaped by repeated behavior. If you consistently delay, you begin to see yourself as someone who delays. If you consistently act, you begin to see yourself as someone who takes action. To grow, identity must shift. You are not the person who gives up easily. You are not the person who avoids effort. You are the person who continues growing. This new identity changes your decisions. It influences your habits. It strengthens your discipline. You become aligned with your goals. The power of quiet transformation. Real change does not always look dramatic. It often happens quietly through small daily actions. There are no sudden moments of transformation. Instead, there is gradual improvement. You wake up earlier. You focus longer. You think more clearly. These changes may seem small, but over time they become significant. Quiet consistency leads to visible results. Building a life that reflects your discipline. Your life is a reflection of your habits. If your habits are inconsistent, your results will be unstable. If your habits are disciplined, your results will be strong. Morning habits are especially powerful because they influence the entire day. A focused morning leads to a productive day. A disciplined morning leads to better decisions. A structured morning leads to consistent progress. What you do in the morning sets the direction for everything else. Becoming someone who does not break promises to themselves. One of the strongest forms of discipline is self-trust. When you consistently keep promises to yourself, your confidence grows. When you break those promises, your confidence weakens. Every morning is a promise to show up, a promise to grow, a promise to improve. Keeping these promises builds internal strength. It creates a sense of responsibility toward your future. You begin to trust yourself more deeply, and that trust becomes a foundation of success. Continuing the journey without end. Growth is not something you finish. It is something you continue. There is no final point where discipline is no longer needed. There is only ongoing improvement. Each morning is another opportunity, another chance to improve, another chance to focus, another chance to grow. The journey does not end. It evolves. And as long as you continue showing up every morning, you continue becoming stronger, more focused, and more capable than you were the day before.